Hello, hello, hello. It is, as I record this, January 15th, and I am very sorry to everybody who has been asking for the video. I got my computer taken away to get it fixed. It's fine now, I've got it back, and here we are. I also re-recorded this flip through because I wanted to do it well for you guys, and the first one was just very unfocused. So I wanted it to be good. I wanted it to reflect my process. And yeah. So without further ado, this is the first half of my 2018 flip through, or as I should say, the first bullet journal, because there's two, and the second one will be coming soon, but right now we're dealing with the first half. I just wrote my name in there, nothing fancy, for the address page, and I didn't really use my index very much, which is fine. So I just started throwing stuff in there. I love that quote. And yep, I started off with December in this bullet journal, which you're not supposed to do, but this month needed somewhere to go and my old one was full. So that's just a picture of me and my family I drew, and a very simple monthly calendar, gratitude, and my dailies. This was my first time doing a page to a day, which I loved. I just, for this month, I did a different little pattern on the wreath up there underneath the washi tape, and I repeated that pattern down at the bottom. But eventually I stopped switching the pattern every day and just started doing the same pattern every day because I was having trouble thinking up new ones and figuring out how to execute them well. So I just went with this vines one for the second half of the month. And yeah, I don't think it was too bad, but I definitely enjoy doing my current approach to dailies a lot more, where I switch it up every day. And then here, we came to a full stop for this 2018 cover page. And there are my mini months that are very helpful for making the calendars. Yeah, so I just decided to treat this like it was a new notebook from here on out instead of using my stuff from December. Because you're kind of supposed to start a new notebook at the start of a new year, but it hasn't worked out for me in the past, so this was my way of doing that. Yeah. I have my key and an information page, which I didn't fill out, which is probably good because I'm flipping through this on the internet. I will show you that there's this ghosting from the pen I was using. I did a pen test for it, but I guess I didn't wait long enough because after a couple months it started to get this kind of greenish verdigris, however you say that thing, like the Statue of Liberty, and it shows through the page, and it's a lot worse than the original ghosting. So over time these pages have not aged well, which I'm kind of disappointed about, and it even transfers over. Yeah, so whatever. They're still cute pages. I just don't like the ghosting and the deterioration. Yep, frozen quote. January calendar, January gratitude, and my January dailies, where I would doodle in these boxes that I drew every morning, and it might seem like a lot of work, and I mean, I guess it is if you're not one of those people that has to have their hands moving all the time, but I am. So I would draw this box, and then throughout the day I would draw the crystals in there, and yeah. And then things started to change. I printed out photos for the first time, and I would do these collages, or not even collages really, I would just throw a couple things in there. Nothing too fancy, but I loved it. And I had all this extra space to use at the bottom. It was very open. So I started figuring out how to put pictures in there and how to wrap my text around it and change the layout to accommodate different kinds of pictures. So much fun, you guys. That's a picture from my skating team that I printed out. It was fun to have something from my own life in there. There's me. And yeah, this layout took me through the end of January. And then in February, things really, really started to shift for my approach. I did my first really artsy cover page with brush markers and a separate piece of paper that I taped in. And I love it. I love this like wintry kind of magical feel that it had, because for me that's what the month of February feels like. And then calendar, blanket tracker for this blanket I was making and still am making, but I'm a lot farther than I was when I finished this bullet journal. Yeah. And then these were my first decorated dailies, and I love them. I loved making them. I loved layering photos and figuring out layouts and having my tasks and journal separated for the first time, which I don't do as much anymore because it's kind of challenging to figure out how much I'm going to want to write for each space. Whereas when they're together, I can kind of, do one and then the other until it's all filled out. It's my sister's half birthday that Tuesday there. So I had these little pictures I'd drawn of me and her that I scanned and taped in. It was just so fun to be able to use whatever. And then around this time I was also experimenting a lot with brush lettering for the first time. And doing my own art, like those lettered quotes or small drawings. Yeah. Then as it started to get warmer, I shifted a little bit away from the blues. And that was a skating photo shoot we did for our skating team at school here. So they sent me some photos from that. So I was like, sweet, I'll stick them in my journal. And I did. And then here you will see that little rectangle. I had some photos that didn't print out all the way. So here they are too. I used them as little extra decorations. And around this time I also started to figure out that I could put my header anywhere on the page instead of just at the top, and write around it and put other junk other places. Super fun. And super flexible. I felt like I learned a lot during this month about ways that I could do things. And then this was March. This was the first one that I ever recorded myself making, the first setup, I mean. I did another, separate piece of paper cover page there. And I continued with my journey into sticking things in. And I started to get very excited about the warmer weather because last winter was very, very, very cold. Sub-zero for many of these days. Not just sub-freezing, sub-zero. Sub-freezing is nothing. Sub-freezing is I guess I'll put on my coat when I get out of the car. Sub-zero is you want to stay inside. hashtag Minnesota good things page I made because I was very stressed out about school. A quote I wrote down as I was rereading Air of Fire. A lot of greens, I think. Some doodles I did. Yeah. This was a good month. Especially, you'll see I was trying out other header styles. This is the one I'm actually using at the moment, the tall lettering. I should do this again because this is one of my favorite spreads. It's so clean and bright and soft, and I love how it looks with the cursive over the tombow with the little swooshes on the sides. Yeah, good page. I should try this again. I also started watching Voltron there. I can see myself stopping on that. Yeah. That ruined my productivity for months to come. But it's fine. It was totally worth it. Yeah. Ooh, that's a pretty one. And then April. Yeah, I did my 6th row of weeks. Instead of like adding an extra whole row, I put the box up at the top because who wants to squish in all the weeks when you have a perfectly good Monday right there empty? Not me. And I'd fill in those boxes to separate it out visually. And here is my first ever collage monthly mood board spread kind of thing. I love how this turned out, and after I did this one, I never looked back. I loved it so much. Yeah, so that was April. I read a lot of books in April. Look at that. Started to get colder again. I found that making my pages look like the weather outside kind of grounds me. And it helps me store memories. There's Allura. Yeah. Just some kind of clean, springy stuff here. And then here's one of my favorite spreads on this notebook, where I was expressing my love for Shiro, who is this character that I really, really identified with, having had like my own traumatic experience with having a really big owie and metal and scar. So he means a lot to me, and I don't know. Yeah. This is around when it started to really become spring in earnest, so it was a lot brighter, kind of busier, I think. And that was when my little sister went to prom for the first time. She's super tall, and even taller in heels, so I was just like this short little nugget next to her, like looking up. So pretty. And then we come to May, and that was another watercolor cover page. Here's my calendar. This was also final season, so I was really struggling a lot because, oh wait, that's like my favorite. It's so pretty. I don't know, either that one or the Shiro one is my favorite. But yeah. Okay, struggling. Yes, I had this math class. And it was just the most unreasonable class I've ever been in, and I was struggling so much that I was getting these stress spasms in my lower back because the top part of my spine has metal holding it in place, so the bottom part takes all the strain, and when I'm really stressed out, it hurts so much. It's almost like a barometer for stress. So I was in a lot of stress and a lot of pain during this month, thanks to my classes. It was the start of summer, and then it took me kind of a while to recover from that. And by kind of a while, I mean like the first half of summer. So these spreads are all like pretty and bright, but I wasn't doing super great at the time. Like I was spending a lot of the time in bed, and just because I couldn't like be upright for a long time without my back just killing me. So I read a lot of books, and I did a lot of like stuff that I could do in my room. Oh, there's the little airbenders. I was rewatching Legend of Korra too. And then I think we're almost at the end of the month. Yep, I went on a short trip with my mom, and that was the last day of my dailies for this bullet journal. So everything from here on out is either a new bullet journal planning, or there's also this new journal planning page I did because I wanted to make sure I could make it through 7 months in my new bullet journal, so that after that I could go 6 months apiece, where I'd be starting new notebooks in January and July instead of December, because like it kind of worked out for this, but I like starting a new notebook in January like you're supposed to. So that's what that page was for. And then the rest of this I'm just gonna speed through because it was just me listing out the books that I was collecting. Just as I got older, I kind of wanted to own all my favorite books that I would reread pretty often. So that takes us to the end of the notebook. So yes, that is my flip through for this bullet journal, December through May 2017, 2018. I will be putting out the next one shortly for my June through December bullet journal. Yeah, let me know in the comments how your migration from your old bullet journal to new bullet journal is going, and any other thoughts, bullet journal related or otherwise. And leave a like or subscribe to see more. Thanks for watching again. Love you all, and I will see you next time. Bye.